Hello everyone, this is Chef Miguel from the Country Club of Naples. On today's culinary series, we're gonna do two simple recipes. It's gonna be a French onion soup and a hunter's chicken, which is Poulet à Chasseur in French. We're gonna start with the onion soup. The first thing we have to do is dice our onions. The way I like to do it, it's cut in three parts first and then start dicing it like this. Otherwise the pieces are too big, and when you eat the soup it's not very pleasant to have such a big piece of onion in your mouth. Alright, we're gonna cut 1 pound of onion and 1 pound of leeks. I like to do it half and half. The flavor of the leeks goes very good on this soup. Same with this. You cut it in half and then you start dicing. These ones I have previously chopped and I have it right here. We're gonna dice as well our garlic. Gotta be fine dice. The amounts and the ingredients are on your recipe. Once we have these ingredients, we can start warming up our pot. In a soup pot, we're gonna add a little bit of oil. And we're gonna start with the onion and the leeks because the garlic burns very fast. So we have to start first with the onions, and once they are cooking we add the garlic. We also need 2 ounces of butter. Alright, once we have our pot with the butter already warmed up, we're gonna start with the onions and leeks. You might think that it's too much, but once they're cooked, they become half of the amount you start with. For me, the secret of a French onion soup is to first saute all the onions and the leeks until they're golden brown. If you start and just sear it and immediately you add the liquid, they don't get that color and that flavor that we need. So once they are cooking, we can add the garlic right here. And cook for around 10 minutes until they are golden brown. After 10 minutes of searing the onions and leeks, we're gonna get this color, golden brown. Right? And that's where we're gonna start deglazing with the white wine. I'm using Chardonnay. When you add the wine, we're gonna get all the flavor from the bottom of the pot. And then we're gonna add the 6 quarts of beef base. And this is the moment when we add all the aromatics. In this case, it's the thyme sprigs, 1 thyme sprig and 2 bay leaves. Right here. We're gonna turn the heat down to the minimum to simmer, and we're gonna cook it for 10 more minutes. Put it on this stove so we can keep working. Simmer. There you go. For our next recipe, the hunter's chicken or le poulet chasseur, the first thing we have to do is peel and remove the seeds from a tomato. It's better if you use a small knife like this. You have to remove the heart of the tomato and you're gonna draw a cross in the back part, just like this. We have water boiling right here. We're gonna dump it in there for 4 minutes or so. It all depends on the size of the tomato, the temperature of the tomato. You have to see when you start looking that the skin of the tomato is falling apart, that's the moment to take it off. So we're gonna keep it over there, and we're gonna have water with ice to stop the cooking and to be able to peel the tomato. Once we have the tomato looking like this, that you can see the skin falling apart, you're gonna dump it in ice water. Leave it there for a couple of seconds. You're gonna see the skin automatically falls off like this. Very easy. You can see our tomato is peeled, effortless. Right, so we're gonna cut it in 4. Take all the seeds out. The seeds has all the acidity on the tomato, and they change the flavor on the sauces or wherever you use them. So for some of our recipes, it's important to remove the seeds. The easiest way is the way I did it. Just cut it in 4, remove them, and then you can dispose this. These tomatoes, we're gonna cut them in little squares. Just like this. And we're gonna set it aside. Small container. We will use it for our recipe. The next step, we're gonna warm up the pan. We're gonna have our chicken right here. The best, it will be skin on. We're gonna use a little bit of oil. It's up to you to use olive oil, canola oil, avocado oil. It all depends on your preference. We have to wait until it's very hot before we sear the chicken. It's very important to sear the chicken because when you sear it, we make sure that the skin is crispy. It looks nicer, and we keep all the juices inside. If you cook it if you put it on the pan when the pan is still cold, what you're gonna do is it's gonna stick on the pan and you're gonna lose all the juices because it's gonna warm up very slowly. That's what we're trying to avoid. So you can almost wait until it starts to smoking to put the chicken. If you have induction, it will take a little bit longer. If you have gas, this is super fast. There we go. It is very important to season the chicken both sides, so we make sure that the flavor is in all the chicken. It's gonna take around 2 or 3 minutes until it's completely seared. It's very important that you don't remove it, otherwise you're gonna cool off the parts of the pan, and that's what we don't want. Just leave it like that. After 2 minutes of searing the chicken, you're gonna have this wonderful color, as you can see. Then we go to the other side. Since the other side doesn't have skin, it only takes 30 seconds to sear. It's only to cook the protein in order to maintain all the juices inside. Right there, we're gonna lower the flame to the minimum. We're gonna remove the chicken. We're gonna set this aside and put it in the oven at 350 for 14 minutes. With this pot, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn it up. We're gonna dice 1 clove of garlic, very fine dice. So you don't bite a piece of garlic when you're eating your chicken. We're gonna set it aside, and we're gonna do the same with a half shallot. A shallot is a mix in between an onion and a garlic. It has a lot of flavor and it helps us with this chicken. You can dice it just the way you chop an onion. We're also gonna dice a little bit of thyme. 1 spring will be more than enough. There you go. We're gonna turn this back on. We have to use the same pot because we get all the flavor from the chicken in the same pot. So we're gonna start with that. Just like on the onion soup, the shallot goes first, the garlic goes right behind it. We're gonna add a little bit of oil, and right after that, we have our baby onions. We're gonna use 8 of them because this makes a portion for 2. And also 6 ounces of mushrooms. In your basket, I use shiitake, oyster, and cremini mushrooms. I love the variety of the flavors of those 3, and they go very good with this recipe. It's very important to keep stirring so they don't stick to the pan. With the mushrooms, apply the same rule as for the chicken. It's very important to keep it in a high flame because you have to sear it, otherwise the mushroom it's basically water. So if you cook it very slow, it will become nothing. It will be very tiny. So you just have to sear it very quick. Once you're searing this, we're gonna add the diced tomato, half of a cup of white wine to deglaze all the flavors. You have to stir it so you get all the flavor from the bottom of the pot. We will add little bit of tomato paste. We have to make sure everything is incorporated on the sauce. We're gonna lower the flame to simmer. And while the wine is reducing, we're gonna add all the aromatics. We start with the thyme, and then tarragon, which is very important that you use it fresh because it lost all the flavor when it's dry. Chop it a little bit. Draw it right in there. Right after that, we're gonna add demi-glace, half of a cup. As you can see, 3 minutes after, our Hunter's sauce is ready. Now we're gonna turn it off and return to our soup. 15 minutes has passed and our soup is ready. As you can see, always remember to take out the bay leaves that we put inside. We don't want to bite a bay leaf. And our presentation will be any bowl you have, preferably something like this. As you can see, if you come closer, our soup is very thick. In your basket you will find baguette croutons. We cover all the area with croutons, something like this, and you will find Gruyere cheese and Swiss cheese. Personally, I like to blend both of them. Sometimes the Gruyere is too strong, so the Swiss cheese balance it out. We cover the whole top of our bowl, and then you can use the broiler of your stove. Or you can easily find a torch like this in a lot of the stores. Right here, we're gonna chop a little bit of parsley. And that will be it. Ready for you to enjoy. Alright, once we enjoy our onion soup, it's time for our entree. We're gonna have salted spinach as a side for our dish. We're gonna start with a little bit of oil. We chop half of a garlic. to do a very fine dice, so you don't have to bite a garlic. You only get the flavor out of it. Then we have the spinach. It's pretty quick. We'll do our hunter's sauce. We add a little bit of salt. The flavor of the hunter sauce is very rich, so you might need not to add some salt, just with a tiny bit. You turn it off. It's very important that you watch the spinach whenever they start turning brown, they are overcooked. It takes us 30 seconds to saute the spinach. Now it's time for the plating. As you know, magic happens on camera, so our chicken is ready. We're gonna cut it in half. You can see how the juices are still in there. It went to the oven at 350 for 14 minutes. This recipe is enough for 2 people. On your basket you will find 2 chicken breasts, but for the purpose of this video I only made 1. You're gonna add half of your hunter sauce. As you can see, it's very rich. All the mushrooms keep their shape because we only sear them. And we allow the garlic spinach and our chicken diced in half. You will find as well in your basket some garnish. This time I'm using baby arugula and baby basil and sunflower leaves. There you go. That's your dinner for 2. Enjoy.